Ladies and gentlemen, the Earth is the cradle of humanity, but mankind cannot remain in the cradle forever. This famous quote was said by Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, the father of astronautics. Since ancient times, humans have been fascinated by the starry sky above. Breaking free from Earth and flying into the vastness of space has always been a dream of humankind. However, leaving Earth is no easy task. It wasn't until the space race between the U.S. and the Soviet Union during the Cold War that humanity officially entered the space age. Today, let's follow the camera's journey and take a look back at the entire history of mankind's exploration of the solar system. Calendar October 4th, 1957. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite ever made by humans, officially opening the space era. It orbited Earth 140 times over 92 days before burning up in atmosphere. Calendar November 3rd, 1957. The Soviets launched Sputnik 2, carrying the dog Laika into space. Sadly, Laika died a few hours after launch due to overheating, but her short journey paved the way for future human spaceflights. Calendar April 12, 1961. The Soviet Union launched Vostok 1 with Yuri Gagarin, who became the first human in space. He orbited Earth once at an altitude of 301 kilometers, taking 1 hour and 48 minutes to complete the trip before returning safely. Calendar August 27, 1962. The United States launched Mariner 2 to Venus. After a 108-day journey and 290 million kilometers, it passed within 3,480 kilometers of the planet, becoming the first spacecraft to approach another planet in the solar system. Calendar January 28, 1964. The American Mariner 4 probe headed to Mars, and from a distance of 10,000 kilometers, took 21 photos that gave us our first real glimpse of another planet. Calendar March 18, 1965. The Soviet Voskhod 2 spacecraft carried Alexei Leonov, the first human to walk in space. Calendar January 16, 1965. The Soviet Venera 3 probe launched, entering Venus's orbit a year later. In March 1966, its lander separated and successfully reached Venus's surface, the first man-made object to do so. Calendar December 21, 1968. The U.S. launched Apollo 8, the first manned mission to orbit the moon and observe it up close. After a 6-day mission, the astronauts safely returned to Earth on December 27th. Calendar July 16, 1969. The Apollo 11 mission launched. After 4 days of travel, the Eagle lander separated and touched down on the moon's Sea of Tranquility on July 20th. Neil Armstrong became the first man to set foot on the moon, saying, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." Calendar March 2nd, 1972. The U.S. launched the Pioneer 10 probe. After nearly 2 years of travel, it became the first spacecraft to visit Jupiter, sending back the first close-up images, including the famous Great Red Spot. Calendar January 3rd, 1973. The U.S. launched Mariner 10, the first probe to visit Mercury. After 4 months, it flew by at just 70 kilometers above the surface, capturing many valuable images. Calendar August 20th, 1975. The U.S. launched Viking 1, which after 10 months of travel, became the first probe to successfully land on Mars and send back the first color images from the Martian surface. Calendar September 1st, 1979. After 6 years in flight, Pioneer 11 visited Saturn, becoming the first spacecraft to get that close and the first to observe its majestic rings up close. Calendar January 24th, 1986. Voyager 2, after 8 years of travel, flew by Uranus at a distance of 8,150 kilometers, discovering 10 new moons never seen before. Calendar August 25th, 1989. Voyager 2 reached Neptune, making it the first spacecraft to visit the planet, showing us its real appearance and revealing 5 beautiful rings. Calendar February 14th, 1990. Voyager 1, at a distance of 6.4 billion kilometers from Earth, took the iconic family portrait of the solar system, including the famous pale blue image of Earth. Calendar 2006. The U.S. launched the New Horizons probe, which after 9 years reached Pluto in 2015, sending back a wealth of images and data from the dwarf planet and its moon Charon. Calendar August 12, 2018. The Parker Solar Probe was launched, and in April 2021, it successfully passed through the Sun's outer atmosphere, becoming the closest man-made object to the Sun. Today, humans have sent spacecraft to every planet in the solar system. Voyager 1, now the farthest human-made object from Earth, has left the heliosphere and is currently over 20 billion kilometers from the Sun. Still, our knowledge of the solar system remains just the tip of the iceberg. The solar system's radius stretches out to about 1 light year, but we believe that in the distant future, humanity will go even farther, reaching into the unknown.